hello, and what's up? Today, to welcome into the how do I really begin this? Welcome into the first ever day 17 overview. And it's gonna be a daily, well, not daily overview, but it's gonna be a day-to-day overview of the lead after each little stream of this game. Now, we are going to be doing but welcome into this series, and I'm gonna be breaking this down with you all, from injury reports to a lot of other things. Um and like I said, this is gonna be kind of a weekly kind of video. This is gonna be a weekly slash bi-weekly video. So some days we'll be missing. Some days we'll be like, where's day 18, or where's day 20, right? This is going to be an episode. This is gonna be kind of like an episodic breakdown series where you guys who are here on YouTube, you guys actually get to watch me break down with you all the Twitch series here. And yes, this is on Twitch. If you're interested in leagues like this and love like basketball and high jam pack action, go on Twitch and follow me. This is gonna be and yes, I'll be doing a multi-stream of Japan Madness, which is the playoffs of the anime basketball league. It is Japan Madness, and these are the teams or the schools that are going to be competing. Now, I'm trying to remember what is the requirements for these teams to get into the playoffs. So we'll see where they go afterwards. So that's that. There's gonna be some days where I'm just going to sim or skip a day, right, and then going to go straight continuing. So that's something I'll be doing as well. So, but yeah, here are the schedule. I'm gonna go ahead and show you all the schedule. This is your day 17 schedule. Let's go ahead and go game by game and my predictions, and we'll go from there. And then I am going to go ahead and do is get into the standings, my thoughts on some teams, who I think is the winner of the day and the loser of the day, and who I think has been now. I'm a Now I know some people are gonna like, well, Soko Game has always been the loser at this point, right? They're 0-7 away and blah blah blah. Well, they're not always the loser because the loser of the days are more referring to who has been recently regressing, not long term regressing. Now, if you want to talk about the long term loser, yes, Soko Academy has been only won one game and has 15 losses. And away wise, they have been awful. I mean, I'm gonna show you all how bad their season is a little bit, but this is the first game. Now, this is gonna be a sim-based game. It's gonna be a live sim, because look at this. Look at how atrocious this difference is. 40.8, 55.9. Look how atrocious this thing is. I mean, 4 more rebounds, 4 more assists, 1 extra steal, and 2 extra blocks. Don't tell me. I'm gonna be honest with you all. Let me look at the average of this team. Their center is a 3.2, which is awful, by the way. Meanwhile, Seho Academy is just doing perfection with their team. Now, I'm gonna show you all how bad this team is. Look at all the losses: 10, 5, 10. I mean, some games I'll give this team credit. At least they're not like going awful and basically doing 20s. Now this was I'm not you want to talk about the worst game. This is their worst game. 25-73. 29-74. I mean that's now this is their only win, by the way. This is their only win so far in this series. And it's only because of Shogo Hazaki, who did 17 points, 3 3-pointers, 4 rebounds, and a steal, which was he was the player of the game, and he was a major impact. And now they have to face again Saiho Academy, which let's get back to them in a little bit. Saiho Academy they're doing all right. They're doing good. Let me look at their schedule real quick. I'm gonna show you all. They're actually back-to-back wins. Another win today. Another win on day 17, which will be on Wednesday morning, y'all. Wednesday morning, I'm gonna start the anime basketball league again. Tuesday, I will not be. Sorry, not Wednesday. Sorry, Tuesday. Correction, Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. I will be back doing anime basketball league, retro bowl, and retro bowl. Sorry, not retro bowl. Retro goal. All your sports games will be Tuesdays and Tuesdays and on Sundays and Fridays. Thursdays will be more like chill gaming. Sundays will also be a chill gaming stream. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on those kind of things because those are going to be important. But yeah, that is going to be the case. I mean, like I said, this is going to be. But today it's going to be more of like I think today's stream on Twitch will be more of Retro Bowl. And some other game. I'm trying to remember. I'm probably gonna play Retro Bowl and Pokemon today. So if you like Pokemon, definitely go check out the channel. Definitely go check out the channel if you like some Pokemon on Twitch. But yeah. So that is. I mean, now they have to face this team, and I think Saito Academy is gonna do really fine this season. We no key injuries for both teams. I gotta give number 4 in the country the win for this matchup. Next up, we got the number 1 and the number 2. This is gonna be your prime time, your game of the day on Twitch. Will be on Twitch and on YouTube for the first time ever. We're gonna be doing a multi-stream on Tuesday this week. Not today, but on Tuesday. So stay tuned on that. I will be working on trying to get a stream where I'll be doing the multi stream where we'll have the number 1 and the number 2 in the country to start as your kind of like your prime time game of the day on Tuesday. So that will be kind of like a YouTube exclusive. So if you guys so you guys get to see how I do my commentary work and all that on the Twitch side. Now, here are your preview for this one. This is gonna be, I mean, look at the tail of the tape. Such a hot mess. 68, 64. I mean, this is going to be a tight game. This is going to be battle of the 2-point range to battle of the 3-point range. Rebounds and assists is very close. I mean, it's a 0.5 and a 1.5 difference. This is close, a 0.3 and a 0.2 difference. Now, this is their last matchup. The Renown High, Renown High for day 8, they have beaten Rekusen High. But now this is going to be a big test because Saito has been injured. Now we're going to get into him in a little. Let's go and get into him real quick and break down his injury because he is a freshman. He has a strained MCL. He's going to be out for a few more games after this. Now so far, with the games he's missing so far, he is going to be like he still has some time to recover from the overall ranking. So we'll see how much that's going to impact this team. But we'll definitely see how this goes. So far, no injuries from this side either. So we'll see that comes to play, right? Now, another team. But yeah, like I said, let's also break down the seasons with these teams so far. I mean, Renown High, right? This team, they are in a 3-game winning streak. They're back in their winning ways. After a back-to-back rough games, by the way. I mean, lost by 2 against Shinmarker, which was an upset, which was an absolutely huge upset. They were 7-5 at the time of that matchup. That was huge. And then they would lose to Daiichi High, another team, another upset. I mean, they have been and then they did lose to Senjicon. They did got upset by them as well. That's their first loss. And then now, Rekusen, the last matchup, they barely scratched by, and now it's going to be, can the number 2 in the country, which, by the way, those 2 upsets, by the way, stumped them down from number 1 to number 2. And now, because they're back to the winning ways, this is going to be their biggest test. This is going to be their biggest test ever, because Rekusen, They have been on a freaking roll this season. They have lost one. They did lose to an opener. A lot of people predicted Wrexham was going to win this one, but that was a great classic to open the season. And then then they started to win drastically by at least 20 points, 20, 10 to 30 points a game. Sometimes there are close games like this where they'll lose. Right, This is their second loss, and then they went back to their winning ways. I mean, this one was a classic. This was. I mean, you want to talk about? I mean, this was also a classic. This was also a classic. I mean, this team 8 game winning streak. They have been red freaking hot. Originally they were 6-2, and now they were now 14-2 because of this 8 game winning streak. I mean, that is a freaking huge deal. When you have a team that can turn themselves around after 2 losses, that didn't stop them, and they're turning on the gas pedal. And now they're at their home field advantage. This one's a very different scenario. This is going to be at their own home turf with their crowd going crazy. This is going to be a very big game. This is going to be a very big matchup. So we'll see if this actually has the same ending, or who knows? We'll probably see if Wrexham High proves they're the number one in the country. Who knows? So that is going to be that. I think this one's going to be a 50-50 because I really don't know who's going to win this one, to be honest. If you want to give me a prediction, I would love to see Renown High upset the number one in Japan this season. And them upset them, by the way, make them both 14-3 for the season. I mean, that would definitely make a huge turnaround, and Rakuten being upset at their own home turf, I mean, that would definitely be a fitting story for Renown High going back to number one. That would be a huge turnaround. Now, next up is Nakamiya South High and Southern High. Now, these two teams are right now in losing seasons. Nakamiya, they have been losing. This one was their roughest game. They did great. They pulled up a great battle against Rakuten. I mean, this was a great game, but it was not enough to win the game. And then they lose to Renown High, which this team absolutely gave them the you know what, and literally straight up gave. Renown basically gave Nakamiya, the butt whooping. By the way, that's like 18 points, which is probably has been a long time seeing. Their last game that ever had that much, like about 10 points or more of a spread, was game 6 of the same team. This one was actually if we do the math here, that is a 33-point difference. I mean, that one was probably their worst game performance of all time. Probably their worst game of all season. So, and then we have Sano High. Now, this team, they're the tale of the comeback kid, because this team went 0-6. They have lost some of these teams by 2, by 12, sometimes by 17. Sometimes they will lose by 6. This team, I will definitely say this team is definitely a scratchy type. They would definitely try to find ways to scratch by and win. Their first win would be in Game 7 against Shinkyo, which this was definitely an upset. Definitely a huge upset. Next game, they actually went back to the winning ways. Actually went to a winning rhythm and beat Shikoku, which was absolutely another huge upset kind of thing. Some people did not expect that one, right? They did went back to the losing ways against Kaicho, 62-44. And then they went back to the winning ways against beat Daiichi High, 70-45, which, by the way, that was a huge upset. I was not expecting an ending like that, because that's 25-point difference. Then they did have a 4-game losing streak. Now they're back to their winning ways. They beat, as of recently, they beat Yoshin by 8, which was actually a great turnaround. They were behind Yoshin High, and their opponents only scored 16 points. Meanwhile, Seto scored 26 in that game, which was incredible. I remember commentating that game. I was so surprised by how Sano High, and this was also another thing too. Now this was a little bit more of a different story. This team, Sano High also lead the first after the first half, and then what Sano High just did really well was just limiting the score of Kirsu, and now here we go. I mean, this is the dream match. I mean, and like I said, Nakamiya, they had a rough season. I mean, they're trying to get back to their winning ways, but they're just completely scooching the pooch. So far, no injuries on this one. And if anyone would ask you who I'm predicting to see win, I would love to see Senohai win, but I think Nakamiya is going to be the prediction to win. Even though this team is the number 11 in the country, I think this team has done a lot of great things this season. And I think them winning would definitely see the progress. Sorry, see definitely a team that has a lot of progress. Now, I mean, if Southern High wins at home field advantage, that's quite something for this team, and that's quite something to see. Of like them being 6-11, that makes them now. Not if Nakamiya loses, by the way, they'll be 6-9. So that would be a rough time for them to get themselves back in the win. But if Sano High wins, that would be a huge win because now they're actually 5 games behind. Next game would be Yojin High and Shihoku High. Now, these two teams, now I don't. I think this is probably going to be a simmed game, but I mean, let's go ahead. I mean, Yojin High. Look at them. They were red freaking hot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 game winning streak. They were originally a 1-3 team. Okay, a 1-3, and then they went to 10 games. You know, they came, they saw, they conquered everybody. 10 points, 2 points, 5 points, 1 point. Now this was the best game of the season. I mean, they had pulled off a huge win against Nakamiya. I mean, in overtime, by the way, in overtime. That was a classic. Um, that was probably one of my favorite games I ever commentated earlier the year. Or even later last year. Yoshin beat Shohoku 64 to 52. I mean, they beat Shamarko 83 to 59, which was absolutely a great game. And then they beat Shinjikan by 12. They beat Kaijo by 7, which, by the way, Kaijo was leading this first half, and they only allowed 22 points, and this team just came back and they just made a win. This is their biggest win by a margin of 26 points. This team was just giving Shogo Academy the roughest night ever, and just they came, they saw, they conquered, and their last win of this 10-game winning streak was against Kurusu, which this team, I mean, I gotta give Kurusu credit. They made this game close, but it was not enough to win. It was not enough. And then they will lose to Sano High. Sano High, they were behind Yoshin by 2 points. And then Yoshin was just having a rough second half. They had a kind of a rough second half that I think Sano High definitely pulled off a huge upset on that one. So, and then their last week, they beat Sogo Academy by 6 again. So again, you know what I mean? And I think Soho Academy is definitely one of those teams that's going to be rebuilt hard with Cindy. So, yeah. All right. But yeah, that is it for that one. No injuries for that one. And then, next up, we got the number 7 and number 17. These two teams, Shihoku, which we're going into right now. This team has been quite the story to tell. They have their last game. They beat Jose High. They have kind of upset them a little bit. And now they're tied up for wins right now. And they're kind of in the position where, Shihoku did a great first half. And yeah, that second half definitely gave Jose the opportunity to win. But definitely a game that I think people will never forget about. And I think that's actually what made this game great. because these two teams know each other very well. Now, Kurisu, they had a 4-game losing streak right now. Now, they were 2-10 after a huge upset against Nakamiya. But now, here they are. They are losing by 17, by 9. I mean, this team has been definitely been dealing a little bit of a rough situation where they're allowing opponents to score 20 points on them. So we'll see how Courage does at home, right? Or yeah, at home. And like I said, this is gonna be one of those games where this is their biggest test. So we'll see then how things go. Saren High and Kaijo High, I'll make this kind of short and sweet. Kaijo High, they lost their last game. I mean, this one was probably a shocker to some, but Shin Marco beat Kaijo High in just butt whooping fashion. I mean, this team just, 28-point difference. I mean, this team definitely gave, the butt whooping of the century for that one. It was just so bad. And it was just, I think High, now they're facing High, and this team has been having a rough season. They have a 5-6 game losing streak, and then they have to face them for game 17. So we'll see how that kind of impacts them, and we'll see how that goes. Then Daichi High and Josie High. Now, I'm also going to predict that Kaicho High is going to win this one. The Shihoku High is going to win this one. I'm pretty much going to predict a lot of the big boys are going to win. But I like to see some underdog stories be happening and foretold. Daichi High and Josie High, I am going to give. I mean, this one's going to be an upset alert. Well, actually, no, not going to. Actually, I want to pick Josie High to win this one. But, yeah, so Josie High, definitely a team where they have been ups and downs as of late. I mean, they win, they lose, win, and they'll lose. So we'll see how much that is going to be. I mean, we'll see how much that means. So, yeah. So, yeah, definitely it's going to be a very big difference. Now, but now they face a Daiichi High team that they're recently they have beaten Tokyo 2, which was a huge win, by the way. A very huge win because Tokyo 2, keep in mind, this team, Tokyo 2, has been having a very rough season, second half season. So definitely going to be a we'll see how much that impacts the bunch, and we'll see how much that's going to impact a lot of the team in general. So that's going to be a very big. I always say like some of these teams are going to be done by game 24, which this team only has 8 games left. So they need to make the best out of them, right? Jose High, for example, they got about 16. Yeah, they got till game 24, which they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 more games till their season is over. Now, there is an injury for them for Daichi High. Now, and this is gonna be this is why I say this is their biggest test, because this is gonna be away, and they got an injured player in this team. Okay, and it's by the name of Tekio Yamada. Now, this is one of their best players and one of their best players. Now, this is a new injury, by the way, a fractured knee, out for 7 games. Now, how long was his injury, by the way? How long was his injury? I think this is this is his first game in the regular season. I'm not even kidding when I say this. Their first ever. I mean, by the way, he's only been playing 5 games, and now he's injured, which is, by the way, rough. I mean, that's a very rough. I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like your power forward getting injured like that, the way it is by an MCL, man, that is going to. We'll see how that really changes things for Jose. We'll see. Because I'm picking Jose High, and that's going to be a big test. Now, Sanjikan, Tokyo 2, picking Sanjikan because look at these stats here. I mean, yeah, sure, Tokyo 2 can actually steal, right? But at the same time, here's the shocker and this is the storyline for this game, and why I could be wrong with this prediction. Tokyo 2 upsetted Yes, they pulled off a crazy upset against Senshi-Kon at Senshi-Kon's home court. And if Tokyo 2 pulls off an upset against Senshi-Kon, that would make themselves, if we do a little bit of the math here, that would be 6-11 and 11-6. Meaning that this team, the Tokyo 2, and then by the way, Tokyo 2 was kind of a challenge ahead of themselves. They got a little bit of a lot their last game ahead of them, right? They got Century Con, they got Serenhai to face next game. Then afterwards, they had to go home and face Saiho High. Then they got to pack their bags and face Shinmarco High, who was 10-6. Then they had to face a 10-5 Yosei High. Then they had to pack their bags and face Shotoku. Basically, teams. I mean, the only team that is smooth sailing is Fyoko Academy. Unless Fyoko Academy pulls off a rabbit out of the hat and shocks the whole basketball world that way. And then to end the season, they have to face Kaisho High. I mean, by the way, that is a 5-game straight of packing their bags. Their last home game, by the way, is against Saiho High. So this is going to be, which by the way, that game's going to be their biggest test. Because not only would that be like, not only is their biggest test, but also is their biggest test, one of their biggest competitors for the season, for to conclude the home part of the season. Because now, we're going to see how much that's going to mean, right? We're going to see how much that means something, right? So, again, I mean, them going to a 5-game road schedule, it's going to be a lot for them to handle, right? It's going to be a lot of overwhelming, a lot of behind the scenes. We'll see, and like I said, I'll keep you all up to date on those daily things on that one. And like I said, I'm picking for this one, though, Senshi-Kon High. And finally, we got Tokyo Shinkyo Academy and Kawasaki Shinmarco High. New teams. And by the way, this is also your game of the week, or sorry, not game of the week, but your game of day 17 as well. So and by the way, this is going to be your 2 primetime games. These two teams are, I wouldn't say they're evenly matched because look at the field goals and the 3-pointers, rebounds, right? But if you want to talk about like steals and blocks and all that, that is a very close, even match. No injuries. Here is the season outlook so far for this team, for Shinkyo Academy. This team, I mean, yeah, Yosei High pulled off an upset, right? They pulled off an upset, and then even Senshi-Kon pulled off a huge dub against them. So now Shinkyo is now into this position now where this is going to be their biggest test. Because Shinmarco High, man, they have been having an up and down season. They've won, they lost, lost. Which, by the way, the losses were at least 10 points, 10 to 15 points a game. So, a little bit of a long spread, but, you know what I mean? And then they had a huge win for Game 7. Huge win against Kaito High, which was a huge win, which also was an upset. They would then beat Nakamiya for that one, which on double overtime, by the way, probably one of my favorite games of all time. Probably an instant classic. I mean, probably one of those games that people will remember forever about how, I mean, and yeah, and I definitely commentated that game. Definitely a game where that would be, I mean, that is probably one of those games where that will be remembered for the most craziest of reasons, right? Then they'll lose to Akita. Then they'll face Tokyo. Then they won against Tokyo Saren, right? They beat Saren. Which that loss, by the way, Yoshinhai, which was a kind of a big win for them now because Yoshinhai has kind of been up and down. Then they defeated in overtime. I mean, this was an upset, by the way. This was a huge upset for Shinmarco because now that would definitely turn themselves around. Then Nakamiya pulled off an upset against Shinmarco. And then now they have pulled off big wins. Beat Seno High at home. They would beat Shihoku at home. Right, Shinhoku at home. And then they beat Kaito High at home as well. Now they have to go face this team at home. And then the day after, day 18, oh boy, they got to face Rakusen High, which that's going to be a very huge one. And by the way, I think did I cover the injury of Saito yet? Let me look. I want to make sure I did. because I want to make sure I did. Wait, no. Wait. Was Saito injured? Hold on, I'm gonna have to look and see. Hold a minute. Or let me see. Yeah, he is. Okay, yeah. He has a straight MCL, by the way. He has a straight MCL. Yeah, you already did cover him. Yeah, I did. Forgot. But, yeah, that is it for the covering of the teams and all that jazz. I mean, our prediction, right? I am going to predict, okay? I'm predicting Seattle High to win. I am hoping I'm picking Renona High with the upset. I am picking Seattle High with the upset. I am picking, um, this is going to be a shocker to some, but I'm picking Yoshin High. Even though they're not at home field advantage, I'm picking Yoshin High to win this one. I would like to see an upset in this one, but I'm picking Shotoku to win this one. Then, for this one, I'm expecting a very close game, but I'm picking Kaito High for this one. And then finally, this one. I am picking Joseph High to this one. I'm picking it. Daiichi High, I'm sorry, guys, but I had to pick Joseph High. This team, I mean, I look at this team's schedule, and yeah, that's that. And then finally, I'm gonna end it this way. But these last two games, right? Tokyo 2. I mean, I'll probably pick SenchiCon for this one, and finally for this game, man, I am going to pick Shimarko. This team, I mean, their home field advantage, right? Their home field advantage, and they're going to do well. Now, here's your rankings, by the way. Here are the rankings of the season. So far, I mean, if you just look at conference, right? This team, you got like Shitoku, Yose High. I mean, Rakusen and Renona, they're doing great. They are like, I mean, some of these teams are in red hot. I mean, Seto High, who's the number 14 in the country right now, they are in the bottom of the bottom. They're actually getting themselves back in the winning column. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, that home and away. I mean, look at the home and away records, by the way. Not really good. I mean, I'm going to be honest. It does not look good for a back-to-back team, right? But I would like, but who knows? At this point, we'll see, right? In the West Division right now, it's a very tight one between these three teams in the Tokyo West for the conference title. So we'll see how much that's going to mean a lot. By the way, if Shinkyo loses to SenchiCon, by the way, which is the team I predicted them to beat them, that would make a huge difference because now at this point, SenchiCon goes 12-6, 12-5, and then this team's 10-7. This team will bump down the rankings. So we'll see how that goes. For Seattle High, man, this is gonna be their biggest test because they have to go and face. I'm trying to remember real quick. They have to face. Yeah, this is their conference game. Now, I wouldn't say this is their biggest test because this is a non-conference game, so we'll see how that much. And then Shijoku High, they're doing well, 4-0 in their conference, 10-6 in the win and loss record. I feel like this is going to be one of those games where one of those seasons where it's going to come down to who can actually do well with the conference that they face, even if their overall looks great. Like look at the overalls right now. Daiichi High, man, they're number 12 and they're 2-1. I mean, that should tell you a lot. In the Kanagawa region, it is nothing more, but it just comes down to these two teams. I mean, look at these three. They are having a rough season already. It's already bad enough that these three are in losing conference and losing regular seasons. And the losing streaks of these teams are looking really bad. And now it's going to come down to these two. Shimarko High, who's the number one right now, 4-0. They're 10-6. And then you got Renown High, which is just the number 2. And right now, the number 2 in the conference after losing that one conference game. So, which is definitely going to be a very costly decision, right? That's very costly. So, definitely going to be something we're going to see going forward is can we see some of these teams going. And finally, to conclude this video, the other region, or aka the other regions conference. This conference looks like a very less contender because again, Yoshi and Rakuten, these two teams, man, Yoshi High, number 3 in the country, they're 4-1 in their conference. I mean, I could see them if they win today's game, oh not today, but like on Tuesday, if they beat Shahuku, which I think they are, no, they're not a conference competitor. We'll see how much that, but still, we'll see how the conference games really kind of play out, right? We'll see them. Also, let's go ahead and go to the awards right now. The MVP race is upon us, and right now, here's the shocker to some right now, and some people really speculate it's Nakamura, which this dude, he is healthy, right? He has been healthy for a while, but he's also he only played for 5 games. Right, and this is just the regular season, right? He's just only played in different seasons. I think he only played for like, here we go. Yeah, this is, here we go. Yeah, here we go. This is the much better. Here's the game log. So yes, he did play like 14 games. Um, he started mostly every single game, right? Then in this day, I mean, like game 15. I mean, we'll definitely see. We'll definitely see if the Samuel High game. Will say a lot, right? We'll definitely will say that him missing 2 games this season is not going to be great, right? It just wasn't the best choice. So, and then Yamada is in the race, and then man, this dude, holy cow, dude, this dude deserves it for a lot of reasons. Number one, I mean their last game. I'm gonna read you the last game that they were competing in this game. This was a freaking, he basically gave Kaicho the whooping. I mean look at the point spread. He had 25 points, which by the way, if you do the math, if those 25 points, you just try to erase all of that, try to minus it all apart, Kaicho would have won that game if you minus all those points out. 25 points, 7 3-pointers, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. I mean, this dude, freaking monster. And then they had another win. I mean, this was another win that he did. And he also had another player of the game. 18 points, 2 3-pointers, 6 assists, and 1 steal. And then another player of the game where, I mean, this dude is nothing more but a point machine. I mean, 19 points, 2 3-pointers, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. This dude, I'm going to tell you all this. He is going to be a first-round draft pick, probably a top 5 draft pick. We'll see where he goes in the draft if he does. I mean, he's a freshman, so he could probably go to a different team. I would like to see. That would be interesting to see if he goes to a different team and see if he can perform well in a different team. We'll see. I mean, he's definitely a guy who has the future ahead of him, man. He's definitely a guy who will definitely, he's a point machine. I mean, this dude's awesome. Now, yeah, he sure also did commit some some turnovers. I mean, he did have some personal fouls this season. His last one was this game, which was definitely it was a rough performance for him, but at the same time, just for that alone, right? I mean, just for like, if you just look at this points alone, I mean, that should really tell you a lot about this team and this dude. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, that again, the personal fouls and all that, not very great. I think this is his worst performance of all time because but I mean the 21 points, all that was great, but the 2 turnovers kind of cost him that game, I think, in my own opinion. But now we'll see if that MVP race really says a lot, right? I mean, we'll see. We'll definitely see if that means a lot. But anyway, that is it for the video. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and thank you all for watching for this long episode of the Anime Basketball League and the breakdown of this thing. And we'll be back on day 18, probably later in the week, who knows. But don't forget, I'll be live on Twitch and on YouTube for a game between 2 of the best, the number 1, the number 2 in the country of Japan. And don't forget to also check out check me on Twitch and check me out, and because gonna be a lot of other games, Retro Bowl, Call. I do also do Hoopland. I also do a lot of other games that are retro feel, but also do a lot of other variety stuff. So if you do like some retro sports feel games, and but also at the same time you love the also love the aesthetic that I try to do. Basically, becoming the sports journalist slash sports commentator that I love to be. Like I said, come follow me. And if you have any questions or any thoughts or even any discussion based stuff, go ahead and comment because I will respond. So anyway, thank you all for coming in, and I hope you all have an amazing Sunday. Bye.